For centuries, the world believed Troy was nothing more than a myth, a city born in the imagination of a poet, a place where gods meddled in mortal affairs and where warriors fought for honor and love. But in the minds of historians, that world never existed. Troy was fiction, just a backdrop for Homer's Iliad. And then something changed. The year was 1870. A wealthy German businessman named Heinrich Schliemann, an eccentric, self-taught archaeologist, arrived in northwestern Turkey with a radical idea. What if Troy wasn't a myth at all? What if it had a real location, buried under centuries of dust and doubt? Locals led him to a hill known as Hizarlik, a place long rumored to be ancient. Schliemann began digging, and what he found would rewrite history. Layer after layer, the earth revealed something extraordinary. Not just one city, but multiple cities, built one on top of the other. 9 civilizations, each older than the last. A timeline stacked like pages in a forgotten book. One layer stood out. Burnt rubble, shattered walls, spears and arrowheads frozen in time. A city destroyed by fire and violence, dated to around 1200 BC, the very period ancient sources claimed the Trojan War took place. It became known as Troy 7. This was no fairy tale. Archaeologists found signs of a siege, hastily built fortifications, underground storage pits for food and water, and bodies buried in chaos. Not the aftermath of a fire or accident, but of war. Could this be the real Troy? Modern scholars began to piece together the puzzle. Across the Aegean, the powerful city of Mycenae, home of Agamemnon, had risen to dominance. At the same time, written records from Hittite tablets, discovered in what is now Turkey, mentioned a powerful city called Walusa, which many believe was Troy. These Hittite texts spoke of wars, diplomacy, and a king named Alexandu, a name scholars believe could be a version of Alexander, another name for Paris of Troy. The evidence was piling up. Troy may not have been a fantasy, but a real city, caught between empires. And the Trojan War? Not a romantic rescue mission, but a brutal clash over power, trade, and territory. Troy controlled a critical point between Europe and Asia, the Dardanelles, the narrow waterway connecting the Aegean to the Black Sea. Whoever controlled that passage controlled the flow of goods, gold, and influence. It wasn't about a stolen queen. It was about dominance. The real Trojan War, it seems, was not the story of gods and heroes, but of politics, ambition, and empire. And while the poets remembered Helen, Achilles, and Hector, the ashes of Troy remembered something else. A battle for control, a city under siege, and a truth hidden in legend.